Zilch left, 35 Wichita Macho
Dice
Toe.
right, F5.
Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg.
Ready? Right. All right, and welcome back to the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. This is episode 12, college football season. Week 6 has come and gone. And it's probably one of the crazier ones of this week. We thought last week was bad with upsets. This week might have been a lot worse. Of course, as always, I'm joined by Ryan Shapiro, who, you okay, buddy?
I needed humbling. I needed humbling. That's all it is, right? My teams don't just suck. I just needed humbling.
I'm talking about across all sports. Have any of your teams actually won a game this week?
This weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Do we count McLaren winning the constructors title?
No, that doesn't count.
No, and my baseball picks aren't doing great either, so I'm pretty down this week, actually.
Bad weekend for Ryan Shapiro.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. We're going to get into that right now, actually, as we move into the top and bottom 5 for week 6. Starting off,
we're going to talk more about how Ryan's teams are trash.
We're going to get to how trash Ryan's teams really are and why he's so sad this week. No, but for real, let's move on to the bottom 5. I'm going to mention the bottom 5 to, it feels like this is a reoccurring element, but the AP poll came out earlier today, as of today, Sunday, October the 5th. Looking at it now, both these teams were dropped in the rankings, but Texas still has 111 votes and Penn State still has 97. Why? What could be possibly be thinking here?
Well, Penn State was what, number
7, I think.
7? Oh,
7.
Yeah, they were number 7. You're right. So them dropping out of the rankings but still receiving votes makes like a little bit of sense.
Not really.
Like not really.
Not really.
But at the same time, like you know, they were still number 7, and sometimes you don't drop all the way out of the rankings, even though you should. And Texas, it's because Arch Manning is the quarterback.
Fair enough. It seems to be the answer to a lot of questions.
And they were preseason number 1. So
yeah. By the way, let me. I was talking about this a little bit earlier before we move on. Preseason number 1 is unranked. Preseason number 2 is unranked. Preseason number 4 is unranked. Preseason number 6 is poorly ranked. Preseason, yeah.
Number 7.
Number 7. No, number 7 is good. Number 7 was Oregon. There's another team I was like, huh. I think that was it. Oh, preseason number 11 is also unranked, I believe.
Who's preseason 11?
It was Arizona State.
Oh, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, and so is South Carolina.
Or no, they're ranked now. They're 21.
Okay, never mind. Well, South Carolina's gone. They were 2 spots.
South Carolina's gone. Yeah.
Florida's gone. SMU's gone. Kansas State's gone by far.
Been gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad in this. Looking back, which is why I don't think we should have preseason rankings, because this is exactly why. Anyways, moving on to number 5 of the bottom 5, was Diego Pavia. He just didn't play that good, but you can't go out and warm up your victory formation pregame and then lose.
Yeah, no, that's bad. But also, that's so cool.
It's funny. No, it's funny. It would have been really fucking cool if they won the game.
That would have been...
But unfortunately, they didn't. They didn't even cover. So now you just look like a clown.
Now you look like a moron.
That's fine. Pavia will be back. Don't worry. He didn't bring his stuff today or on Saturday. All right, moving on to number 4. We're kind of stepping outside of our zone here because we usually talk about college football, but this is an all football issue, but I've seen it twice happen in the NFL. I saw it a couple hours ago, like an hour and a half ago, and it goes for all football players. Don't drop the ball before you get into the end zone. Please. We saw it last week with Aiden Mitchell of the Colts, and I just saw it with Amari DiMercado of the Cardinals. Oh, by the way, I
Let's
think they're
see.
going to lose that game now to the Titans, if I'm pretty sure.
No way. They were up 21-6 when I went downstairs to film this.
You obviously were taking a lot of time to set up because, yeah, the Titans won. Good job,
Dude, I
DeMarcado.
took like not even 2 minutes to set up. How did that happen?
Uh, Amari DeMarcado and Cam Ward
Yeah, I guess so.
and
Jeez.
Cam Ward locked in. And later I want you to go look about how the Titans scored their touchdown to put them at 19, and you're gonna laugh because it's really funny.
Um, Tyler Lockett 0 yard fumble recovery.
Yeah, Cam Ward threw an
Oh,
interception, and then the guy who
intercepted and then fumbled
and
at
the
the Arizona 6, recovered by Lockett at the.
in the end zone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really funny. Anyways, moving on. We're getting off topic here. Moving on to number 3 is the next 3 are just teams that got just beat and beat badly or beat when they weren't supposed to be beat. Starting off with Iowa State losing to Cincinnati. That game ended up being pretty close, but wasn't it like 31-7 at half or some crap like that? 31-15 at the half.
Yeah, it was not close at halftime. I remember that. It was the Iowa State was down big at half. It was 31-15 at half. It was 17-0 at the end of the first, though.
Yeah, that's not a good look for Iowa State. The Big 12 continues to show us that we really don't know anything about it except for Texas Tech continuing to look like the best team in that conference.
Yeah.
Um, just week in, week out, somebody big is getting beat by somebody lower down.
Yeah. No, I mean, we knew this coming into the season. It's one of the most chaotic conferences, and it's proven to be that way. Even like, I mean, yeah, Texas Tech so far has been the only team that's just above and away the favorite to win the conference, but the favorite to make the conference championship with them, I could not give you a genuine guess because I feel like there's a good amount of teams that are in there. Like BYU is still undefeated. Arizona State doesn't have a conference loss. Cincinnati's 4-1 and 2-0 in conference play, and then you've got Iowa State, Baylor, and Kansas all 2-1 in conference play. None of them have no more than 2 losses. They're just it's it's early to tell right now, but it's it's going to be an interesting conference down the road.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see how that conference shapes up. Excuse me. Moving
Bless
on.
you.
That was a cough.
Excuse you.
Thank you. Moving on to number 2. Take it away, Ryan.
No, 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 I don't want to. That's not fair. I don't want to talk about this team. Let me go. I don't want to talk about Texas and how they suck and how Arch Manning is a fraud and how Steve Sarkisian can't call an offense and how Florida just absolutely dismantled them. No, I'm not. It's not fair.
Get it all out. You got it.
This team sucks. I don't. If they show up in the rankings one more time this year, they could be 10-2. I don't care. They could be in the SEC championship game. I don't want to see them ranked. If I see them ranked one more time this year, I'm suing the AP
You're suing the AP. That's a new one I've heard.
for slander.
All right. Yeah, Texas is
I hope Steve Sarkisian goes to bed at night and just replays that question that I asked him at media days because I know I do.
in case you didn't catch the drift, Texas is number 2 on our bottom 5.
This godforsaken team needs to needs to quit screwing around, all right, and figure it out.
Look, one week it's me, one week it's you. It was me last week and it's you
Yeah,
this week.
at least your team loses to a respectable opponent and looks decent doing it.
Oh.
Texas has 2 losses this year. One to Ohio State, looked awful offensively, solid defensively. This week just looked terrible. Texas tackling was back. They couldn't tackle anyone to save their life early in the game. Florida was averaging like 10 yards a play. and then Arch Manning is the worst quarterback since Hudson Card. Like, what are we doing?
Hudson Card.
Ugh.
As you good?
No, but we need to move on.
All right. Well, as mad as you and many other Texas fans might be, there might be just one fan base that might have had a worse Saturday. Number
And this
one
one makes me happy.
in our bottom 5 is Penn State. For
Are we sending
somehow
them to purgatory this week?
for somehow lifting UCLA out of the grave they were in. By the way, if you didn't see our rankings from last week, we had UCLA in a grave. They weren't even in last. They were buried in a grave. And they somehow climbed out of the grave and beat Penn State. What are you doing, Penn State?
I'm surprised I haven't seen the James Franklin and Penn State have agreed to part ways notification yet.
Me too.
Because James Franklin is what, 1 in 1,000,000 in big time games, and the next week after said big time game, he goes out and lets UCLA score 42.
I think that well, let me just start with this. We had a paradox presented to us 2 days ago. And let's just say maybe the paradox was heard, maybe it wasn't. But the paradox was, if we just randomly had UCLA ranked number 4 going into this game, despite being by all means the worst team in the Power 5 so far through the first 5 weeks, would Penn State win? Because they can't win in big games. I mean, does this confirm our paradox is true, that Penn State would lose that game? Because they lost to them when they weren't even ranked.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess the paradox was true then.
I guess.
Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like I'm looking at the how the game went, and as bad as it looks, it's just honestly it was all defense, because UCLA, when it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first 5 drives with the score, and then let's see, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9. They went 8 out of 9 drives scoring points. They had one drive where they had a missed field goal, and that was it.
I mean, it just seemed like every aspect of what was supposed to make Penn State good this year hasn't been there. You just mentioned their defense wasn't good on Saturday. All year, they've looked disappointing running the football. Drew Allers looked disappointing throwing the football.
I'm sorry, who?
Great value, Bo Prabula.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
That one.
he
Yeah.
hasn't looked great.
No. Yeah, it's just been bad. And it all
They
came,
made Nico
it all came
Iamaleava
together.
look serviceable.
They did make Nico look very serviceable. They made Nico look good. He had 5 touchdowns.
And nearly 300 total yards.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the top 5 of the week after our bashing of Penn State. The honorable mention are last week's teams that were ranked 19 through 24 for looking really satisfying in the AP poll this week by all moving up 5 spots collectively. Missouri went from 19 to 14. Michigan went from 20 to 15. Notre Dame went from 21 to 16. Illinois from 22 to 17. And BYU from 23 to 18. And Virginia from 24 to 19. Those 6 teams
Yeah.
just whoop.
All up 5 spots. And I think, Mizzou had the best performance out of all of them this week.
Mizzou didn't play this week.
Thanks, Sherlock. Jeez. Can a guy have a little sarcasm in his life?
No, you can't.
Ah.
Moving on to number 5 is
You like that I growled at you there?
that was weird. You're weird. Number 5 is Carnell Tate for the top five of the week. He had another great game. Carnell Tate's looked really good this year, which is a really hard thing to do to look good when you're lining up opposite of Jeremiah Smith. Um, yeah, I mean he just
Yeah, no.
was
I
really good.
mean,
9 catches, 183, one touchdown. Thought he had two, but I mean, touchdown's a touchdown.
thought he had more. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the 183 yards that he got that
Yeah,
stands out, anyways. Yeah, no. I mean, he's kind of been sharing receptions with Carnell Tate. He is the true receiver too to, excuse me, Jeremiah Smith. He is a true receiver too to Jeremiah Smith. 35 receptions to 24. Jeremiah Smith still has the edge in yards as well with 463 to 435. But Carnell Tate's been going for more yards per reception with 18.1. And then Jeremiah Smith has six receiving touchdowns and four receiving touchdowns for Carnell Tate. So both of them have looked really good. And, it's nice for a guy like Julian Sayin, who's making his first year as a starter, to have, a team like this around him where you've got the best receiver in the country and then probably another top 10 receiver in the country. Uh, to throw to, and you've got 13 touchdowns, three interceptions, and only two sacks through six. Was it 5 or 6 games for Ohio State? 5 games
five, I
now
think. Yeah.
for Ohio State, which is really impressive. So good work from that Ohio State O line.
The thing that stuck out to me about Tate, more than anything, is like last season and preseason. I thought, this is a shifty guy. Runs great routes. I felt like he was kind of overlooked in the Ohio State offense last year, but people obviously, knew he was a good receiver. But you had Smith, you had Emeka Egbuka still in that system, so I don't think we were expecting him to be this good, while people expect him to be good. But his contested catchability has been really good. He makes some of the craziest catches I've seen out of college receivers in a long time. Moving on to what are we on? Number 4, right? Number 4.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4 is Luke Altmaier for Illinois with just insane performance. 19 of 22 with 390 yards.
Good looks, dude. I mean,
That's all you can say to that.
yeah, it's 19 of 22, 390 yards. That's a huge game from Allmeyer. That's a 17.7 yard average. I think that's per reception. The fact that he only had one passing touchdown is kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
Just
Well, they
doing
had
everything but getting
but
your
getting the
guys
ball in the
into
end
the end
zone.
zone.
Yeah, I mean, this Illinois team has bounced back the last 2 weeks after taking just a beating to Indiana, when they were ranked in the top 10. But they're not going away that quite easily, so they're still trying to show that, hey, we're, a contender to make noise in the Big Ten. And Luke Altmaier is definitely contributing to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna say this: if you get beat down 63-10 by not even the best opponent in your conference, you're not contending really for anything, in my opinion. You're
Yeah.
just playing to play now.
Yep.
Everybody knows you're not gonna win this year, at least.
Yeah. Moving on to number 3, Ty Simpson with Crimson Tide. Man, he's looked really sharp. I'm talking all year since the Florida State game. Reminds me a lot
Yeah,
of
I
AJ
mean,
McCarron, man. He just makes his reads so quickly. And while he's not, I would say, the most wowing prospect physically, which he's still got some really good physical attributes to, but he's just great at being a quarterback.
yeah, no, he's been doing some really good work this year. And this week against Vanderbilt, there was a lot of talk about Vanderbilt maybe producing another upset against the Crimson Tide, and Ty Simpson and the Alabama offense went out and really shut that up pretty quickly. He threw his first interception of the season. But other than that, he looked really good. He went 23 of 31, had 340 passing yards and a pair of touchdowns, and I mean, just looked really good overall. And you know that that Alabama offense has really started rolling since the Florida State game.
Yeah, and that was on the first possession, was that interception. Swung right back and was really sharp the whole game. All right, moving on to number one, our top or number two, our number two of our top five of the week is a freshman, Malachi Tony, wide receiver for Miami. Where did this guy come from? Because we came into the season for Miami, we're like, all right, they got this new talented quarterback out of the portal, and C.J. Daniels is looking good. They did lose Isaiah Horton, so let's see what C.J. Daniels can do. Out of nowhere, here comes three-star recruit Malachi Tony is taking over the Hurricanes offense.
Yeah. No, I mean, phenomenal work. Pair of touchdowns in a big time game, 100 yards. He was getting open. Beck was finding him, and I mean, that game was honestly over at half or at the end of the third, in my opinion,
This
28-3. I feel like that game should have just been called at the quarter.
this game was not as close as the score signified.
To really just show that 28-3 is not a comebackable game.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Really?
I was really hoping you would pick up on that one.
Yeah, I made the same joke.
I mean, I was really hammering it in there.
I made the same joke last night, so I kind of wore off.
I'm sure you did.
I hate you. All right, moving on to number one of the top five is Alabama. No, I'm kidding. It's UCLA for deciding to play football on this exact weekend and not any weekend before, and pretty much just jumping at Penn State from the gun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how this happened. How does one allow a horrible, horrible, horrible UCLA team that fired their coach, that their transfer portal QB only cares about the money. They lost to Northwestern. How does this team beat Penn State, top 10 ranked Penn State, with potential Heisman candidate Drew Aller, Penn State, with James Franklin, one of the best coaches in the country, that just lost to Oregon in overtime in a very close game, in a very good game? How does Penn State lose?
I mean, honestly,
I'm
we don't
genuinely
know.
asking.
Nobody does. This is the equivalent of at this point for UCLA, because if you didn't know that, they fired their head coach. They've parted ways with both coordinators that they had at the start of the season, offensive and defensive coordinator. This is the equivalent of you pulling up to a street park with your boys and having a pickup game with I don't know, the Kentucky basketball team and somehow finding a way to win. That would be the equivalent of what UCLA just did to Penn State.
Yeah,
because they really had
exactly
no business beating them or being in that game at all.
Yeah, and to beat this dead horse, UCLA's offensive coordinator had never called plays in the headset, and there were multiple times in the game where he had to flip the mic back down because he had flipped it up after a play. So he had to flip the mic back down to talk to his quarterback, and it was the first time where he had really, used a headset in a game.
Yeah, yeah, and then and
yikes, dude, that's bad.
When that happens, you're like, oh, their offense must have sucked, right? Nope. Not
42 points on a top defense.
2 points. Yeah. Penn State don't really know what's next year. All right.
Sell the team. Sell the school.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't think it is either.
All right. Speaking on what we just talked on with Penn State being, even after that loss to Oregon, we're still looking towards the playoffs type of team, and then losing to UCLA. This is a team that was ranked number 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? Preseason?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Leads us into our first talking point of this episode. Should we really rethink just dishing out a bunch of hype for teams we really know nothing about in the preseason?
Yes, of course.
Brought it up earlier. Texas was ranked number 1 and Penn State was ranked number 2. They're both unranked now.
Yeah, I mean, did you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, you look at it. Yeah, Penn State unranked sucks. They lost to UCLA. Texas lost to Florida. Now unranked. Arch Manning sucks. He was the Heisman favorite. He was the favorite
Yeah.
in his first year starting. Not even like a preseason watch list type of guy. Just straight up. No, he is winning the Heisman. He is the favorite. Alabama, another team that was super hyped up, lost to Florida State, who was not hyped up at all. They were down, down, down in the dumps. Kansas State, another team. They were the preseason. They were one of the preseason favorites, if not the preseason favorite, to win the Big 12. They're not even in contention for that anymore.
What are they, 2-4 or
Uh,
some crap like that?
yeah, something like that. They are not good. They are terrible. Um, you know what? Kansas, a team that was getting some hype because of Jalen Daniels. They haven't looked that great. They're what, 4-2 right now? Like, yeah, they're still in the race and they're still gonna do something about it, but they're not great.
Nope.
You look
Florida.
at
Florida was ranked 15th to start the season.
Florida. Yeah, they were in the top 15 in the preseason after being horrible last year, not being ranked once last year, but just because DJ Lagway was supposed to be good, Florida was in the top 15 this year. Now they're 2-3 and hoping for a bowl game, and honestly hoping to fire Billy Napier at this point. But then you look at teams that didn't get any hype at all in the preseason. Mizzou. There's a little bit of bias on my end from that, but they were projected
Mizzou,
12th, I believe, by the media in to finish in the SEC. They were
I,
projected to finish 12th in the SEC. They
I'm
are 5-0 right now. They have the Heisman favorite. I don't care what anyone says. They have the Heisman favorite in Ahmad Hardy, and they have looked awesome.
I just want to go. I want to point this out, right? Because this, even from us, because we like to criticize mass media writers for not really paying attention to things and just kind of throwing things together, especially on ballots. There's stuff in here we didn't even know. Ole Miss is ranked number 4th, followed by Texas A&M. These were two teams I said would regress in the preseason, and they're looking like the two best teams in the conference.
Yep.
Indiana,
Exactly.
we thought would regress. They are looking like the 3rd best team in the Big Ten behind Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech was unranked to start the season. They are now ranked 13th and are looking like the 2nd best team in the ACC behind Miami.
Yeah. There's so much that we don't know. And
That
like
is
you just
pretended to know that we don't know.
yeah. And it's all of the hype. It's the hype that's been building into this season is these players I feel like are more complacent now almost, and they're oh, because we're number 2, we're gonna win this game. No, not necessarily. This Michigan team has looked pretty good so far this year. You might lose this game, or we're unranked and we're going against the number 7 team in the country. You know, maybe we shouldn't work to beat this team as good as we can. No, they're gonna work harder than you by like miles. They're gonna clear you in how hard they work because they want to beat you. They want to pull off that upset because it's really cool to pull off upsets. It's really fun to beat a team when you're not supposed to beat them, and so you're gonna work even harder to get that win. While the team that's top tier is gonna get complacent and decide, oh, we're gonna play for the win. We're not gonna play to end their season completely. No, we're gonna play for the win. No, you should be playing to fire that coach. That's how you should be playing every game. You should want to win by so much that the other team has no choice but to fire their coach.
I mean, I agree with you. And this goes back to something I said, I think, I remember it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, that it's been a mentality shift the past 2 years, but you've seen it kind of materialize this year among teams that have a slip up or two early in the season. They're not going to give up because of the playoff format. You see, like UCLA is a glaring exception because we know they're out of contention. Um, but I'm talking like,
Nico's playing for draft stock at this point.
yeah, exactly. But you would see teams in the past, if they were to get that first loss, they'd be like, man, now it's looking really grim for our
Season's
playoff
over.
chances to materialize. Now, no. One loss doesn't mean pretty much anything, especially if you are a top team. It does not mean anything. The problem is these top teams think that, we can skate on by and focus on these big games and, we're just going to be fine at the end of the day. It's the same argument can be used to like kind of sway these top teams into thinking, we could drop a game here or here. And that's how you see a team like Penn State, a team that has no business losing to UCLA, fall to UCLA. It's how you see a team like Clemson, who has no business having 3 losses, have 3 losses. When you get complacent being a top team because you think you're going to make it just because you're supposedly a top team, you're going to find out real quickly that you're really not what you think you are.
Yeah, exactly. And some of it's. I'm honestly surprised how. Actually, these guys aren't going to get the midseason fire. I was going to say I'm surprised how James Franklin and Dabo Swinney still have a job right now, but I mean those guys have been there long enough to get the end of season award, as I'm going to call it.
Award? Is that
Yeah,
that's what it's called? Okay.
yeah, the end of season award of worst coach in the program. Um, But no, I mean, you're also looking at Oklahoma, who I was super down on. I didn't think, anybody on that team was good,
Yeah.
to be honest. And they're number 5 in the country right now. Miami, I was super down on Carson Beck to start the year, and they're number 3 in the country. You're looking at Oregon, who I thought was going to have a bit of a down year, even though they were still Oregon, and I felt they were going to be solid. I just didn't think they were going to be good. And now they're number 2 in the country. There's so many teams that are having good seasons that are written off before the season even starts.
If I told you straight face that the top 3 teams in the SEC in terms of ranking wise were Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, you wouldn't believe me, would you?
No, because I thought Ole Miss sucked, and I thought Oklahoma sucked, and I guess A&M, like, they're fine, I guess. But I didn't think they were good to start the year.
They've been good. So, I mean,
They've been great.
um,
God.
in other news, if you were 0-6 to start this is completely pivot to a different topic. I just like read this and I thought it was really funny. If you start a season 0-6 as an FBS school, um, what change would you make to your coaching staff to try and fix something?
Am I the athletic coordinator?
You're
Is that what
anybody.
I am?
You're anybody. Do what you want. Put yourself in any position of power and do what you want with it.
Well, if I'm the athletic director, and what team am I? Let me.
Let me
What team
just
am I? Where am I supposed to be?
I just found it really funny. I just read this article that amid an 0-6 start, Oregon State decided to fire its special teams coordinator. Like that's gonna make that much of a difference. Not the head coach, the special teams coordinator. Now, granted, hold on. I have not seen anything about Oregon State this year. Maybe their special teams is that bad, but really? Okay, hold on. Time out. The Beavers rank last in FBS in special teams efficiency. Okay, their special teams might be that bad.
But
That's still really funny.
but is that the one person to fire? Is that the number one person that we're looking at to get the chopping block?
I don't know, man.
I get like I'm probably firing him before that if I'm being honest, and if I'm 0-6 after that, I'm firing the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator. Matter of fact, everyone's getting the
Everyone's
can.
getting fired.
Everyone's being encouraged to transfer. We're starting the program over.
Yeah.
We'll go to FCS for a couple of years.
I
Relegate us.
I actually want to look this up. Hold on.
we have relegations in college football?
No,
Why not?
cause that's can't no.
Yes, yes, yes. You can 100% have relegations in college football. Why are South Dakota State and North Dakota State and Montana State and Montana not in FBS? They are all good,
Because there's
great
requirements to
FCS
be because there's
programs.
requirements to actually join the FBS, and those schools either don't want to meet them or just don't. I'm pretty sure those schools enjoy being top FCS teams because that's where their level is. I
Yeah,
think
but that's
FBS is honestly too big. I think there's too many teams in it. That's the reason. That's the reason originally FBS and FCS was created because there were too many too many teams at the Division 1 level. They were like, we need to split these up. Now there's more teams in FBS than there were before it was split into FBS and FCS. So
so just get rid of all the group of five schools.
what do you mean get rid of? You can't just get rid of them. That's not how that works.
Move them to a lower conference or a lower division.
That's still not how that works.
Why not?
You can't just do that.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. Those teams are are signed in to an agreement with the college football playoff to say this is our postseason for the next 10 years.
So in 10 years, remove them from the college football playoff.
Yeah, you could do that in 10 years. Who's going to start planning that now? All right, moving on. Let's go.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had the next 40 years of the playoff planned out.
You're probably right, actually. All right, moving on. This is getting way too off topic.
Yeah.
We went from preseason hype needs to stop the special teams coordinators and relegating the group of five. We're bored today, aren't we?
I guess so. It's been a rough weekend.
Has it now? I couldn't tell.
There's teams.
All right, moving
They're
on.
killing me.
Moving on.
Sports aren't fun anymore.
Moving on. All right. Quickly, revisit your conference championship picks. Go.
All right, let's go. SEC, give me Georgia A&M. Big 12, give me Texas Tech and Arizona State. ACC, give me Miami, Georgia Tech. And Big 10, give me Ohio State, Oregon.
Wow. I hate you.
I'd steal all your picks.
Quite literally every single one. I guess you had to win something this weekend.
Yeah, I did. Didn't I?
This is fun. We should do this
Mizzou
more often.
plays Bama this week.
We should do this more often.
What, my teams lose? Yeah.
Yeah,
we
that. We should have all your teams lose.
I bet you're enjoying life right now.
I am. See, I didn't have to go through grief at least on Sunday because my NFL team didn't play. So.
Yeah, you played Kentucky.
Anyway. All right, moving on to the games for week 7. Only got 5 of them because, well, there's not that many good ones.
Nope.
Starting off college game day in Eugene, Oregon, Indiana. Another big game for Indiana. Another big game for Oregon, excuse me. Who you got?
It's tough to go on the road anytime. Even though Indiana did, decimate Illinois 63-10. I believe that game was on the road.
No, that was at home for Indiana.
It was at home. Okay,
For Indiana,
well, it's tough to go on the road, especially against the number 2 team in the country.
3.
Who number 2?
Are you going off coaches or AP?
Am I looking at that wrong? Oh, Miami jumped them. That's right. I forgot about that. That's
Oh
on
yeah,
me.
that did happen this week. Oh, my bad. I thought that's been okay. Well, I mean, I guess I can see why you thought that if that just happened. But yeah.
Yeah, that's on me.
You're good.
So yeah. Number 3 team in the country playing the number 7 team in the country again. I've seen this story before. Last time it was Oregon that was traveling to Penn State. This time it's Indiana that's traveling to Oregon. Give me the Ducks.
I'm also gonna go the Ducks here, but these two teams have probably been the most consistent in the Big Ten. Ohio State,
Yeah.
they're Ohio State, but they looked iffy at some points. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the events of this past weekend haven't really helped their case, Ryan. But yeah, I'm still gonna go Oregon here, and a close one though.
Yeah.
And a close one though.
I can see that.
All right, moving on. What's the next one? Missouri and Alabama in Missouri. Bama coming off, an emotional game for them against Vanderbilt. It was a lot more passionate and emotional than I thought that game was going to be. But yeah, Bama coming off with a good win there. They head to Missouri. This is kind of Missouri's first real big test of the year. I'm going to say that this game's going to depend on Alabama's ability to run the football because that's where Missouri's made their bread and butter on defense this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jam Miller's going to have a nice game. And because of that, I'm going to take the Crimson Tide.
Yeah. I don't like you for that.
Why?
Uh,
Because you wanted to take the Crimson Tide?
so I didn't have to take Mizzou. But no, I think this game is just going to be dependent on run game as a whole, both offensively and defensively for both teams. Again, like you said, we've seen the Tigers' ability in stopping the run. Alabama has had trouble at times this year in their one loss. They couldn't stop the run against Florida State. I believe Florida State had somewhere around like 220 rushing yards
Yeah.
against them. And Missouri has the best run game in the country right now. Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts have been a phenomenal dynamic duo with Ahmad Hardy taking most of the weight. And, I've already said it probably 40,000 times and multiple times this episode, but Ahmad
Heisman.
Hardy is the Heisman. Give it to him now. I don't need to see the rest of the season. His ability to stay up after contact is like nothing I've ever seen.
This
And I think if he has a good game and Jamal Roberts has a good game and Prebula has a quick internal clock of I'm going to run or I'm going to pass, I think the Tigers can take this one.
a trend I've being noticed established with Bama early on through these first 4 games. They win on if they're gonna win the football game, they're gonna win it on the last 2 downs. They're gonna win it on 3rd and 4th down. If they lose, it's gonna be because they let the other team run over them.
All right. So those are the two things to watch out for.
Yes, that's what I would say. All right, moving on. Next game is Ohio State, Illinois. Illinois coming off 2 wins after that beat down to Indiana. They have another big test now against Ohio State. I am going to take the Buckeyes, though.
I don't think Illinois should be ranked for the rest of the season after that atrocity. And I'm honestly, as much as I dislike the Buckeyes, I would like to see another 63-10 game.
Yeah,
So Illinois can be unranked for the rest of the year because that's pitiful.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that bad, but I still think it's going to be pretty. I think Ohio State's going to comfortably win this one.
They should.
They should. All right. A little bit of a switch up from our usual. There wasn't that many big ticket games this week, so going over to South Florida at North Texas. North Texas 5-0. South Florida's ranked with a 1 loss to Miami. Both really good group of 5 teams. Both teams in the American's got a lot of really good teams. I'm starting to notice.
The American's fun.
Yeah, it is. I love
that's
football.
a fun conference.
Is it now?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Even though North Texas is 5-0 and at home, I'm gonna take the Bulls on this one. Yeah, the Americans
Give me the mean green all day, every day. They are a fighting machine. Mestamaker has looked awesome. He still hasn't thrown a pick yet this year.
That's pretty cool.
Honestly making an argument for a Heisman finalist at least. Mackenzie McGill II has looked pretty good. He's got 63 carries, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. Just as a whole, this team has looked good. They shut out Lamar. They've got a couple of overtime wins. They destroyed Wazoo. They beat South Alabama last week. South Florida might have the better wins right now, but I think North Texas is the better team.
Look, all I'm saying is, I've been saying it since like week 2. Whoever wins this conference is gonna be the Group of 5 playoff spot. You got Tulane, who's 4-1.
How do you not?
USF is
5
4-1.
teams that are all rankable.
And North Texas is 5-0. Memphis is 6-0. Navy is 5-0. For heaven's sake. I mean, yeah, when Ryan said this conference is fun, it's fun.
Yeah, you've got 5 teams that are all rankable. So, yeah, whoever wins this conference should be the Group of 5 representative.
All right. Last game of the week. I hate to do it to you, Ryan. Red River rivalry is upon us. Texas, Oklahoma. Texas, though. Or Oklahoma. We don't know about John Mateer. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? That decides it for me. Personally, I think if you subtract the quarterback position, I feel like Texas has a better team. Oklahoma's defense has been really good, but I also think Texas's defense is also really good. I think they have Oklahoma beat at receivers. I think they have Oklahoma beat at the running game in total, which I've seen, if you take away the quarterbacks, I have seen a non-existent running game from Oklahoma. So that's going to be the determinant.
And from Texas.
Yeah, Texas has still definitely got more going for them in that department than Oklahoma does, though. But
very little.
My, of course, X factor for this game, John Mateer, if he plays Oklahoma. If not, I will take Texas in a bounce-back win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking anyone but Texas ever in this game. It's
true to the
Texas.
end.
It's Texas OU. I'm not picking OU.
True to the end. Spoken like a true Texan.
The eyes are upon you.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode 12 of the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. We will see you again next week to another great weekend of football.